So today we're going to be talking about the editing software Descript. It's an AI editing tool that allows you to edit videos a lot faster. So we're going to jump into it right now. Once you download Descript, the first thing you want to do when you open up Descript is you want to click on New up here at the top, and you want to click Create Video Project. Now you want to drag your video into here. Once you do, it will start uploading. I already have a video uploaded though. So here's a video that I have uploaded. And then you want to click transcribe, so it transcribes the entire text of the video. Now, how I do this is maybe a little bit different than other people. This is just how I do it personally. So the first thing that I do is I come up here to actions, and the first action that I take is I remove the filler words. Remove filler words. Now, what it will do is it will remove all filler words automatically, unless you click on this button up here and then you select what filler words that you would like to remove. I don't remove all filler words. The only filler words that I remove is and because there's no situation where or is necessary for the clarity of the video, unless I'm saying the word in the video, right? If I'm not really referencing those two terms, then I can just remove all those. So I'll unselect all of them, just select those two. I can click off here, and then I can click here on remove all. And then you can see it's deleting those remove alls. The next thing that I want to do is I want to start to edit the timeline and to start to edit out really large gaps in what I'm saying. So there's two ways that they show gaps in your speech. The first one is long pauses, or these dots. The second one is on your timeline. So I'm going to come down here to my timeline. I'm going to click show timeline. Now I can see my timeline, but I'm pretty close. So if I click Command minus, I can zoom out on my timeline and I can see more of the timeline of this video. And I can see that wherever there's these dots, these three dots, those are where there are gaps in my speech. If I want to remove all word gaps, I can do that here by clicking that, doing shorten word gaps, and then I can choose how long of word gaps I want to remove. So let's say I want to remove all word gaps that are longer than 5 seconds. Okay, well, I can do that, and then it will say there are 3 instances of word gaps longer than 5 seconds. I can click the down arrow, and then it will show me here the word gaps. And if I need to look at it, then I can look at it by clicking Command plus. Now, what I'm looking for if I'm deleting a word gap is that the sound wave on this, there is no sound wave in the gap that it's identifying. So from here to here, there is no sound wave. You can see the sound wave here. So when there's a sound wave, I know that it's somebody's talking during it. So if I see big gaps with no sound waves, I can delete that. And then you can see my clip shortened and took out that sound wave. Another way of editing out sound waves is by clicking one of the hotkeys or by clicking the blade. So if you click B on your keyboard, it will auto make your cursor into a blade. The blade allows you to splice the clip. So I splice the clip here, and then I splice the clip here. So it segments out that long pause. Then what I can do is I can select the cursor or do type A on my computer. And then I could select that and then click the delete button to delete that segment. So anywhere I'm seeing those 3 dots signifying dead air, I can just use that blade tool and I can remove it like this. And that's a really fast way. Or I can even do shorten. If I go back up here and shorten my word gaps, I can do 0.2. So I could say remove all word gaps that are longer than 0.2 seconds. I then click that and I can see there are over 397 places where I have a word gap longer than 0.2 seconds. So now if I use the down arrow, it will identify that first gap, which is right here. And then I can click shorten if I just want to remove that one. And sometimes the reason you would want to go one by one is because sometimes, especially on these shorter ones, if it doesn't recognize the speech, sometimes it will identify a word gap where there isn't one, like right here. So right here, it identified it as a word gap, but you can see there's actually audio there. So I probably don't want to remove that one. So that's one reason not to do shorten all. Sometimes I go by this, or sometimes what I'll do is I'll zoom out and I'll find the really big ones, and then I'll just use my blade tool kind of at a macro level to remove the really long ones. And with the blade tool, it can be pretty fast because you just do B to do the blade, and then when you want to select them, you choose A. Or you can right click with your mouse, blade, got that gap, right click, and then click delete. So once I go through and I edit out all of my word gaps, then I'll just give it one last listen. I'll go from the very beginning. I'll edit all my word gaps, and then I'll go back to the very beginning and I'll listen to it just through my headphones and say, okay, what parts do I need to remove like when I'm talking? So there's some parts that are repetitive, or sometimes somebody says something wrong. My general rule for editing any video is if I can take it out, then I will. That's just my style. Other people have different styles, but I'm always looking for brevity, efficiency, and taking out anything that's redundant in my videos. So there's a lot to be said about editing, but those are some of the things that I do. Now, some of the other features that Descript has, which are really, really cool, you can add captions. So I add captions in Descript by clicking the text tool right here, and then I can click on captions. Once you do captions, it's going to give you your effects bar. So there's some other effects in Descript that are pretty nice.